Welcome everybody to Quadrapod Studios podcast, returning today, twice in a week, holy smokes. Kit Warren hosting as always, and today the guest on the show is our friend BitCoin G to give us the A to Z of the Bitcoin universe. Kit Warren, welcome. G, welcome.
Thank you, brother.
Kit, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin, for that great intro. Welcome to Quadrapod Studios, right here in the heart of the city. And today I'm super excited because everybody's buzzing about crypto this, currency this, making money here, making real stuff here, making gold, actually buying cars, buying real estate, things that you need in your life. And it's all because people have to live, and they have to live certain ways. And what we want to do is live our best way and navigate through this BS and create things that actually do well for our health and wellness. So welcome, G, and I'm so excited to explain to the people of Canada and the world is listening on some of these techniques that they can do to put in their life and actually create wealth.
Well, thank you, Kit. Hello, Robin, and thank you both. Hi to the community, It's my privilege to try to explain a few fundamentals of Bitcoin for the layman and, the average worker, man or woman.
Yeah. And it's something more than just Bitcoin. It's blockchain technology. You hear this word a lot. And is this what the backbone of Bitcoin is?
Yeah, blockchain is basically the network, an international network of participants that's put on the ledger after every participation, and that ledger is the blockchain. The blockchain is decentralized, meaning it has no central point on the planet.
Whoa. So that means that then there's no agencies controlling it. It's by the people. It's by the people that are investing
That's
into
100% right.
Wow.
So no amount of nuclear power, anger, or greed can take the blockchain down, right? Bitcoin is two things. Bitcoin is blockchain, and Bitcoin is the unit of account of the blockchain.
Whoa.
So
this is mind-blowing. This is a new currency.
That's correct. It's the best currency humanity has built since in history.
And so when somebody investigates these new claims as it's a new currency, how should one go about it? Where do they look for information on the facts of what's happening?
So what's going on right now is that the governments are devaluating their national currencies by printing more of it so they can buy national bonds to pay for their national endeavors.
Is that quantitative easing?
That is quantitative easing.
Oh, so we are getting technical on words that sort of add a mystery to what's happening.
Right, so what's important for people is that people work for money.
Yeah.
What is money? Money is a unit of conservation of energy. The energy that you put out when you work is then given to you in the form of money. That is how you value your work. Your efforts are remunerated in money. Therefore, money is a conservation of your energy.
That's a great way to put it.
When the banks print money with zero effort, they are devaluating your work, your dreams, your hopes, your efforts of putting aside some money. Because the money is a unit that conserves your energy. And when they devalue your energy, in time, your efforts are worth less.
Because of the inflation that's happening and the cost of food and the cost of gas and all of that's compiling.
I call it the invisible thief.
I see.
There's an invisible thief in everyone's lives.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to break it down for people to understand how they can maybe get involved or they can now protect their work value to actually save money?
As they intended to.
I see.
And so wherever in the world you are, and you work for the money that you use locally, the money that you are earning is devaluating faster than you can spend it. Therefore, the money that you are saving is like an ice cube in the sun melting away. And soon, if you do nothing, your savings will be a puddle of water that will evaporate into thin air, and all your efforts will have been for none.
Yeah. And that's in the fiat system.
That's if you do nothing.
If you do nothing with your work effort and change the way you approach this new technology.
That's correct. If you don't make the move to secure the efforts that you put out in a strong currency, you will lose your efforts. You're basically working for nothing, and you don't know it. And and you see it when you buy a brick of butter that goes from $3 to $5. Now you have quote unquote organic milk at $9.95 for a gallon of quote unquote organic milk.
Yeah.
That's called the invisible thief. When they put less yogurt in your 6 baskets of yogurt for the same price, and they put an extra 2 baskets telling you it's a special, it's a lie.
Yeah.
They're lying. They're thieving.
Techniques.
They're using your fear of yourself. You are afraid that you cannot do this, that this is too complicated.
Yeah.
Except BitCoin, and to save your effort is as easy as buying a mug on the internet with your debit card.
Let's go through these steps, because I know people are hearing your words. They're understanding that they're in the same predicament. People are realizing that things are changing, and the buzz on cryptocurrencies is because some people realize the gifts that they can get into now, but they're creating some sort of false buzzes because of stock plays and pump and dumps. And so I want to talk a little bit about that kind of danger zone that people can get wrapped up in.
That's correct. So I am into wealth preservation, conservation of effort. I am not into wealth creation. You can create wealth in many ways. Gambling is one of them. Every other token than Bitcoin is a human construct with hopes of self-wealth. Ethereum, for instance, is a sect coin followed by nonchalant investors around a nonchalant guru financed by secret millionaires and billionaires who finance all these thousands and thousands of tokens and different crypto projects. They have a hand in every one of them. And when you look at the markets and you see them all go up and down in unison, that is that community pump and dumping on everyone all the time.
So this is what people need to be aware of. This cryptocurrency has its pitfalls. And the pitfall is, if you're not looking to BitCoin, which is the blockchain original and the safe bank, so to speak, they can waste a lot of money and energy and time and time on the device chasing this dream of created wealth.
Hope is a terrible thing.
Yes.
Hope is the worst
A
of
false
all.
thought of the future that hasn't happened yet.
That's correct. So people need to let go of hope. They need to focus on who they are and what they know what to do, which is work. They need to work better, work harder, get a promotion, ask for more money.
I really like that approach, because we're not telling you to just to jump into Bitcoin, dive in and leave your job. We want you to create wealth, and you want to come here to teach people how to hold on to that hard work effort.
That's correct. Bitcoin is not an investment. Bitcoin is not a speculation. Bitcoin is not a gamble. Bitcoin is a conversion from depreciating money into hard cash, into appreciating money.
Okay, so let's break it down how you would get a Bitcoin and a wallet and then create those interest possibilities.
Absolutely. So back in the day,
Yep.
you looked at Bitcoin and you wanted a wallet and you needed to keep the 24 seed phrase or else you lost it all. In fact, 4 to 6 million Bitcoins are gone forever.
Whoa! That's it.
I personally have an account like that, but I don't
The old school.
know the number anymore, and I don't think there's any Bitcoins on it. But I put it up on my Twitter asking for donations back in 2010. So there possibly might be something on there. I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, and that's unreachable.
So lost coins.
Lost coins. So now things have changed. Things have evolved.
Okay.
The ecosphere of crypto has grown into know your customer and anti-money laundering laws
Yep.
have existed forever and now been applied to companies who tend to the community of Bitcoin. So now people can not even custody their own coin, right? They could put it on a platform like I push Nexo because
Yep.
Nexo.io is the company that is the best crypto company on the face of the
Is
earth.
that NEXO? Or
Nexo.io.
okay.
That is the best crypto bank on the face of the earth. You can now borrow at 0% interest, and that is not a promotion, that is a feature.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just it. So now what your goal is that you could buy Satoshis. There's 21 million Bitcoins. I like to remind everyone there's 100 million Bitcoin, 100 million Satoshis per Bitcoin.
Okay, so you got Bitcoin, and it's how many are Bitcoins?
Bitcoin is divisible in
Yep.
100 million units.
So 100 million units of Satoshis are in the Bitcoin, and that is to amplify growth so that when Bitcoin hits its peak, then there's Satoshis after that.
That is to help with the division
Okay.
of Bitcoin. So now you could buy $10 or $2 worth of Satoshis of Bitcoin, right? You don't need to buy a full Bitcoin ever. You
Yep.
could buy a fraction of Bitcoins.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Allows for smaller purchases.
Absolutely.
Which helps everybody out.
Exactly. Now we have
Give
a
it-
Lightning network,
Yeah.
and you could pay for something $1.
Yeah, so if Bitcoin ever hit $100 million per coin, then one Satoshi would be worth $1.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
That's correct. And so we're getting away a bit from what people should do
Yep.
and how to get involved with Bitcoin. So I'll just bring it back to do what you do today.
Okay.
Don't change anything. Just you're working for the privilege of paying the bills like everyone else. What I'm asking you to do is to, if you have anything more than your bills, hopefully you do,
Yeah.
you put that aside into a currency that will gain value versus keeping it in any of your national currencies that will devaluate in time as they always have in history.
Yep.
So with Nexo.io and EXO.io, you could use your debit card. And like you would buy a mug on the internet, you could buy some Satoshis with the rest of the money that you've earned. The reason why you want to do this is that the dollar that you've earned today by serving a coffee to someone will be worth more tomorrow, right? These are figures.
Yep.
I expect you to work until you cannot.
Yep.
I expect you to buy Satoshis every day if you can. I expect you never to sell a single Satoshi.
Yep.
I expect you never to trade because you're not smart enough. You're going to lose it all.
Yeah, so you're talking about the trades where you can place your Satoshi up and go buying and shifting, and so people
That
are getting
is
lost in gambling.
It's at that point, it's not what I propose.
Yeah.
I don't propose people who know nothing in charts start to look at charts.
Yep.
I don't propose that people who don't understand liquidity and money currents of the planet to start to trade. Like, I don't want that. That needs to not happen.
You want to simplify the process to protect their work effort.
That's it.
Yep.
The sole reason of my involvement, other than myself and Bitcoins, towards others is to bring the message to save your efforts. Protect yourself from your national currency that is devaluating before your eyes. Use your bank debit card to purchase Bitcoin only. Never sell it. Work more, make more money, buy more Bitcoin. Period. Bitcoin is very volatile. From day to day, it could be worth more, it could be worth less. Therefore, by definition, if you buy 7 days out of the week, 6 out of those 7 days, you will have bought it cheaper than the 7th. Therefore, out of 4 weeks out of the month, you will have purchased Bitcoins only 4 times higher than you have for the rest of the entire month. So it's just a matter of doing it every day, buying a few Satoshis, $10, $100, more, 1,000, 1,500, as much as you can.
Yep.
Because Bitcoin is not scarce.
Yep.
Bitcoin is finite. There's a huge difference between scarcity and something that is finite. Gold is scarce, right? Unobtainium is finite, right?
Yeah.
It's like there are 75 million millionaires around the world. None of them can own a full Bitcoin anymore because there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There'll never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. Bitcoin is important for people at the ground level because it will save the effort and their dreams and and all of that is excruciatingly important for humans. But what Bitcoin really is a financial tool.
And this is not just from you. There's countries that are already buying into blockchain technology to protect its citizens, to grow with this currency and to create wealth for their country.
El Salvador,
Yeah.
a country that had $400 million in remittance every year, which means that its sons and daughters sending money back to mom and pop, right? From anywhere around the world back to El Salvador. Now, if I use Western Union and I want to send $100 to mom, they're going to take $25 on my end.
Yep.
Then mom's going to have to take the bus and drive to the Western Union there, and then they're going to take $25 of her end. So of the $100 of my sweat and blood and effort that I sent her, she will only receive 50.
Yep.
She'll receive half of what I sent. Now, thanks to Bitcoin, when I send $100 to my mom in El Salvador, she gets $100. So out of $400 million in remittance, civilians only received 200 million. Now they will receive double that.
Wow.
From your understanding, was that a big incentive as why they adopted this, or was it just a byproduct and a benefit that they received because of that?
Well, they did it because El Salvador doesn't have their national currency. They're working with the American dollar. And the American dollar is devaluating its own currency faster than any country can spend it, or any entity for that matter. So El Salvador got out of Dodge.
Yep.
Out of Dodge.
Gotcha.
And
now
there's other countries following.
other countries are
And
following.
it will be just basically writing on the wall, because this is a technology that protects the securities of countries.
of everything that has it, right? Like Bitcoin is a conservation of energy. Is like the black hole of money.
Yeah.
it pumps in all the value of effort and keeps it there.
It grows it with a nexo interest. What I've been hearing is you can place it and protect it and create interest on this.
That's right. It's like money making more of itself.
Yeah.
It's like the rich. They have like a lot of money. They have so much money that this money is working, making more of itself. With Nexo, you put your scratch or your money on Nexo. If it's in dollar form, you'll get 12% interest every single day.
Wow.
12%
My
yearly.
bank's not paying me 12%.
That's right.
Oh, like
Yearly.
yearly. So that 12% is money making money. So all your savings going in there is now just going to grow your savings to then protect you for later on in life.
That's correct. Bitcoin is the best retirement plan. The reason why it is the best retirement plan is many-fold. One fold is because it's finite and there'll never be more. Another fold is because it's a financial tool. A tool is an object that you use to have a cause, like a hammer on a nail. You use the hammer to hit the nail, and then the nail goes in the wall. Bitcoin is a financial tool. You can use Bitcoin in this way. You lend Bitcoin out to over-collateralized entities who then use it, and you gain interest from lending it out. There is zero risk because if the other party defaults, its over-collateralized accounts make whole the contract. You see? So it's a zero risk. Nexo is the blood and the heart of the banking system. Banks need to lend out, and that is the blood of their business. Collateralized assets for loans is the soul. So you have the soul and the heart of the banking system in Nexo itself, right? Collateralized loans is the strongest asset banks can ask for because they, in turn, do fractional reserve.
Yeah.
So
this is an opportunity of a lifetime to get involved with this new switch. And it's switching slowly, but actually quickly. Like behind the scenes, things are happening quite fast.
necessity breeds creativity.
G, can you touch on a little bit the central bank digital currencies that many countries are trying to implement to counter Bitcoin and kind of hold on to control themselves?
Well, what it is a digital CBDC, a digital currency is really just another version of what exists already. Money already is digital. When they print more money, there's no printers printing rolls of cash. They push a button and then the numbers on the screen appear. The money is already digital. What's a little Orwellian with their digital currencies is that then they could follow where you are with the geolocation and what are you purchasing, with the wallet and the money, and then where do you get the money, when are you going to get the money, who sends you the money. And so all that metadata is worth a tremendous amount of a cash, right? So what the government could do then is they could turn around and sell that data and then basically forego taxes. So if you sign up to have your data sold by the government to big company entities that will in turn pay the government, then you could be relaxed of all taxes. For instance,
That's an incentive that they would give, you're saying.
that's an incentive that they would give people to accept to have their data just fished and dragged.
But in reality, what's going on is they're just transferring the fiat currency onto a digital model, which then allows them to track, but as well will just continue their same inflationary
Absolutely.
policies. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's zero difference between a digital currency and fiat money. It's the same thing.
So just to bring it back to what a person can do now is they go online, they look up the Nexo wallet, and they take their extra money and just slowly invest. And anytime they get a little bit extra, they invest into Bitcoin, and that will give them.
Again, we got to be careful with our words.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is not an investment.
Okay.
Bitcoin is not a speculation.
Yep.
Bitcoin is a way to conserve your energy for later on.
Gotcha.
And it's like the only way. Everything else is a human construct built for self-wealth.
You mean those other coins?
All those other shit coins.
Yeah, and we call them shit coins because they're pump and dump schemes, or there's some coins that do work effort for other
There's
things.
some real projects.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
Yep.
say wrong. There are some serious projects with good intentions behind them.
Okay. Because the blockchain technology is going to create an ecosystem of its own.
That's right. The fact that you could have a ledger that's uncorruptible is a very important fact,
Yep.
right? But nothing is decentralized. Everything is centralized, therefore corruptible.
Aha.
So opportunities abound, but I believe in the opportunity of man.
Yep.
I believe that men and women are already working their asses off, and that we already know that 90% of traders lose. We already know that if you keep your private keys, you might lose your coins. Like 6 million Bitcoins are gone forever.
Yeah, we've heard stories about hard drives in landfills and all sorts of stuff
Yep.
that people are
Correct.
trying to crack into.
Correct. So we know now all these things which recoil us from Bitcoin because we fear we're not smart enough to get involved in such things, right? And that's true. We shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's not what we should do. Should not get involved in such things. However, you should get involved in saving your work, and that's Bitcoin, right? There is no speculation. There is no hope. There is no trust. There is no investment. It's not a gamble. It's you working your ass off and then putting the scratch you're not spending for later on when you won't be able to work. And you'll need that money.
And why is Bitcoin not susceptible or nearly as much to the pump and dump
Right.
type of thing?
So Bitcoin is super susceptible to pumps and dumps as well, right? You only need to have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Plenty of people with hundreds of millions of dollars. Pump and dumps don't matter. They only matter to traders.
Yeah.
They don't matter to me. They don't matter to you.
Right.
I'm happy when Bitcoin goes up, and I'm happy when Bitcoin goes down. I'm always happy because when Bitcoin goes up, the dollars I put yesterday to buy some Satoshis are worth more dollars today. And when Bitcoin tanks, I'm super happy because for the same dollar I spent yesterday to buy some Satoshis, now I'm getting more Satoshis.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Yep.
I don't partake into the fear of missing out. I just work my ass off, pay my bills, and buy some Satoshis.
Perfect.
That is it.
Pretty simple formula.
Super simple.
And if people adopt this, the listeners are out there. They're probably sending us a bunch of messages right now about this simple process will get them work effort protected.
Correct.
And that's what people want. People want
Correct.
insurance for the future. People want to have the rock wall they built last a long time and hold up their house. They don't want to build things that are falling apart or that then wash away over time.
That's right.
So this is really what we're discussing, and you're giving this information out because you care about other people.
That's correct.
We see our brothers and sisters working hard and not, it's like you're on a hamster wheel. So this is a revolutionary currency.
And it's super simple. It's super simple.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Why people may have been thrown off or gotten scared of Bitcoin because of certain incidences like the Mt. Gox, which I'll give people a rundown. It was an exchange where people would put their coins so they were able to trade without having to put them on and take them off all the time. And the owners of it kind of just disappeared one day, and went off. They were made off with thousands and thousands and thousands of bitcoins, right?
Yeah, it was a gong show.
Yeah.
And the court case are still going on. They haven't gone off, and with the thousands of Bitcoin there, but the Bitcoin have been stuck and found as well
Oh, really? Okay.
from the hackers who stole them. And so there's a big weight and a big, again, uncertainty and a big doubt and a big fear that people, when they get their Bitcoins from the Mt. Gox, will sell them, which will then tank the markets. These things are ridiculous. Because
Well,
it
I'm
doesn't
more
matter.
asking just why should people be confident that there won't be some incident like
Right.
that with
Excellent.
Nexo, say?
That's an excellent question, because back then there was no regulation whatsoever. Mt. Gox was used to be a.
Magic the Gathering online exchange card trading platform.
There you go, and that's what it was. Today, we're faced with Know Your Customer (KYC), anti-money laundering laws, AML, and companies that are worth their grain of salt go through those two processes. Nexo.io has been audited by the best audited houses on the planet. All the clients are now, make sure that Nexo makes sure that the clients' Bitcoin come from good places, that they're not flagged and so forth. So yeah, if you're a drug dealer and you sold heroin or whatnot on the dark net, and you got your Bitcoins from there, or you got a ransomware from Hospital Bitcoin, block,
Yeah.
your Bitcoin might be seized or something at some point down the road. But if you're a plumber, if you're a teller at a thrifty store or Walmart, if you're a pumpist at Shell, or if you're a baker or whatever,
everybody.
you've earned your dollar, and you use your Bitcoin, you use your debit card, your bank account, where the dollars you've earned fall into, and then you buy Bitcoin on Nexo.io. Then Nexo's going to call you one day and going to say, hey, where does that money come from for you to buy your Bitcoin? And you're going to tell them, I work for them. And then I DCA into my Bitcoin. They'll be like, thank you, welcome to the Bitcoin beach.
DCA, what's that?
Dollar cost average
So using a dollar cost average
strategy.
What does that tell you? How does that map this process out? I remember that acronym.
Acronym. Yeah, DCA acronym stands for dollar cost average. That means that you average a certain cost of an amount of dollars any given time. So people dollar cost average once, twice, 3 times a month. I say do it the most possible, as often as possible. When you got money in your pocket and you're not going to spend it, put it into Satoshis, right? Buy some Satoshis. Otherwise, buy your milk, buy your bread, and then make sure you got the rent. But everything else, beyond gas or cigarettes or whatever, buy some Satoshis. That's it. You're not going to go and buy those cigarillos. You're going to stick to your cheap cigarettes. You're going to go buy the porno magazine. You're going to stick to Pornhub. You just try to save your dollars. And just add some Satoshis, a couple of dollars every day, or a couple dozen every week. It doesn't matter.
And so Satoshis, for people that are just jumping in, are the same as Bitcoins. We went over the fact that it's a breakdown, and within one Bitcoin, you have 100 million Satoshis.
Exactly. And you could buy just a couple of Satoshis for $10 or $5. It doesn't matter. You don't need to spend 60 grand. Bitcoin has gone from $0 to like $67,000 US, which is over 75, 80 grand Canadian.
And you're talking about Bitcoin being the 6th currency in the world right now, in a ranking of currencies around the world.
200 countries, of close to 200 countries on the planet. It's already climbed 175.
And that shows more growth and more takeover coming in the fact that other people will be adopting this currency. Other
Absolutely.
countries will be adopting it. So the time is now to get involved.
Absolutely, because as we mentioned earlier, Bitcoin's a financial tool.
Yeah.
Tools are meant to be used. And everybody who uses financial tools will use Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they will have to gain access to it. And since there's a finite amount, they'll have to pay more and more and more and more for it, right? And you could tell yourself, well, if they buy more and it's worth more and more, I'll get less and less Satoshis for the same dollars I worked for.
Yeah.
That's correct, except time will go on and your Satoshis will continue to grow more than your dollars would have. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Is the number doesn't matter. The volatility is inconsequent. You're not investing. You're not hoping. You're not trusting in anything. You're not speculating in anything. You're not gambling at all. You're working hard to save your money, your effort, and you're doing that with Bitcoin, which cannot be devalued.
One thing, one way to look at it, you're looking at mathematics, and also the mathematics of it going up and down. You've got investment or corporation groups that invest money that then will that have to pour their wealth into it when it reaches different points.
Well, that's correct. So big international companies have pies of investment.
Okay.
And they could have decided to allocate 5% of said pie to Bitcoin. Except they have fiduciary responsibilities that the value of every said investment doesn't go over a certain threshold.
Okay.
So let's say they buy $400 million of Bitcoin when it's $40,000.
Yeah.
And then Bitcoin goes to $60,000, and now their $400 million investment is worth, $600 million or something like this,
Yep.
right? And so, but they're not allowed for any one investment to be worth that much. So they have to, fiduciary responsibility, sell off their Bitcoins just to bring back the value of their investment.
Based on their own investment algorithms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Bitcoin tanks below where they invested. They're like, hey, let's put back this dry powder we just had to collect
Yeah.
and buy more Bitcoin. And then they buy more Bitcoin than they even sold. Right?
So this cycle continues the growth of the coin itself.
There are so many ways to make money with Bitcoin once you own it that it's never going away, because way more intelligent people than anyone that's listening, and even myself, know the people whom to give a salary to make money for them. Right? It's not these super billionaires that actually know how to do this stuff, but they'll give a kid who's like very talented more money than he's ever seen to make sure it's set in stone.
And you're talking about these young kids that are doing the different work in investigating or creating new
When you're
ways?
into computer engineering,
Yeah.
you could get into it.
I see.
Right? So when you're a developer in computer engineering, then you could get into elliptical curves and all sorts of like different things that partake to the Bitcoin ecosystem, right?
Yep.
And these big entities worth billions of dollars, make sure that it's in-house.
That sounds like another show on the segment and the ecosystem. Like I'm so excited about this cryptocurrency stuff that I want to dive into understanding the ecosystem, the supports, the people that are going to be doing deliveries, or all these new creations that will happen. And that, what we're discussing is just getting people involved in the savings and work effort, but then also the expanding entrepreneurs that are going to be created, and new business and new things are going to be very exciting to follow.
It's a new world, that's for sure. And it's exciting, yes, but it's also very confusing. And I want to just concentrate on the plumber, the landscaper, the lady at the tail at Walmart. I just want to concentrate on the people that are being thieved blindly like
by the current system,
it's
by
just so wrong.
the monetary system that has been engaged up until now, and
so
it's been
Bitcoin's the only solution out.
cool.
Okay, Bitcoin
So-
is the revolution. Not one one drop of blood will be shed. Not one bullet will be shot. But we will take over, and I want you all to be part of your own freedom.
Well, you know,
So-
I'm getting my wallet. I've
On,
got my Nexo set
On
up.
that note, say I'm completely naive. I've got my debit card. I want to buy some Bitcoin. Where do I sign up? What's the process to go through that?
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for that. So you're a worker. You want to buy Bitcoin. You have a bank account. You got a debit card. You got access to the internet. You go to nexo.io and you open an account. I'm not giving you a referral code. I don't need the $20.
Yeah.
You know, just nexo.io. Open yourself an account. Link up your debit card, and you're done. Just then follow the instructions and do your own research, right? I'm not going to grab you by the pinky toe and tell you where to put your feet.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this is where you're heading, right? So Nexo is where you're heading.
Very good information, good advice, because this is something that is very current, and people are running around into crypto and then being lost in all of the other fluff.
Shiba Inus, Dogecoin.
I've heard of other ones, Coinbase, and another one in Canada, which I can't recall right now. Why would Nexo be more preferable than, say, Coinbase?
So there's Coinbase, there's BlockFi. In Canada, we got Lendn, right, which is LEDN, which is another collateralized lending platform. And the reason why Nexo is better than Lendn or Celsius or Coinbase or BlockFi or any other collateralized Bitcoin lending platform is because Nexo doesn't ask you to pay back within a certain amount of time. You pay back when you want. Everybody else is like pay back within 6 months, pay back within a year,
Pay back what, though, sir?
pay back the loan.
Okay, so other platforms will give you loans as well in cash, or what kind of loans are you getting?
In cash, in
Okay.
fiat money.
Gotcha. So say on Coinbase, I have Bitcoin, I get take a $100 loan from them. They'll want that $100 back within a certain time frame. Why doesn't Nexo have that same requirement?
Well, Nexo simply has different company fundamentals.
Gotcha.
As where all the other companies in the Western world had to deal with the regulations, they caissed ass before they were asked to. Nexo wasn't born in a super regulated environment, so they didn't have to kiss ass before they were asked to. Then they were asked to kiss ass, and then they got all the information from the customers of the provenance of their Bitcoins, right? So I'm not talking to the drug dealers here, I'm talking to the working force. You take your debit card and you buy some Bitcoin.
Yep.
And then with the Bitcoin, every day from the day you put some Satoshis on Nexo, then the very day you start to get dividends. That day, your money is starting to make money that very day.
That's something that maybe people don't get, is because they're saying, oh, I have this extra money on top of my bills and everything, and I'm putting in Bitcoin. But let's say I want to go on a trip and I want to take some of that money out. You're saying instead of taking out the Bitcoin, they can take a loan on that Bitcoin, and then they can pay that back at the agreed upon time or whatever it is based on. And on Nexo, it sounds like there isn't one, which will
Correct.
take me a little bit more to understand, I suppose. But
Right, well, it's because when you put Bitcoin on Nexo and you take a loan, you now have a collateralized loan. Another way to say it is a collateralized loan is on your side. On Nexo's side, you give them a collateralized debt. Collateralized debt is the soul of the financial system because collateralized debt gives liquidity. Because collateralized debt can be liquidated immediately to gain access to the value.
That's like having a house up. If you get a loan and you use your house as collateral.
Exactly. Except with Nexo, there is 0% on any loan. 0% interest on loans.
Wow.
I mean, I used to like, and this was recently, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So I used to give like 15 Hunskies to my mom every month. And I'm like, okay. But then the interest, right, was dinging me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not just 15 Hunskies.
It's interesting.
The interest is going to add up. And then over the years, it's going to be way more. Except starting yesterday, now the 15 Hunskies I take out of Nexo to give to my mom is going to cost me $1,500 and never
That's it.
more, right?
Very
And
cool.
it's highly possible by the time you pay that loan off, the coins that you have saved are that much more. So you're actually paying less for the loan than you initially took out.
Well, that's the idea. Like, for instance, I bought a smart car and I had no money. The smart car was $3,000. My buddy had $3,000. I had $1,500 in Bitcoin in a wallet that I had. I bought that Bitcoin for $150. So that $1,500 cost me $150. So I went to see my buddy and I said, hey, why don't you give me $3,000 and I'll give you $1,500, so half, in Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will grow faster than I will have been able to reimburse you. So he gave me the $3,000.
Cool.
I bought my Bitcoin Lambo, which is my Smart for Two car there,
yeah.
for $1,500 in Bitcoin. That actually cost me $150.
Yeah.
And now Bitcoin has tripled since then, and the $3,000 he lent me is now worth is worth over
Cool.
$7,000.
Everybody
So
won.
it's more than doubled.
Everybody won there.
Everybody won. It's like the first transaction I've ever been where everybody wins.
Yeah.
Usually, in a transaction, both parties are supposed to be unhappy. When both parties are unhappy, you've got a
Something's
good
fair.
deal.
Yeah.
Compromise, yeah.
This is completely different.
Yeah.
This has changed the paradigm of economy. All of a sudden, I'm super happy about this transaction because my car cost me $150.
Yeah.
My buddy's super happy about the transaction because the $3,000 he lent me is now worth close to $9,000. And the guy who sold the car super happy because he's got his $3,000. So it's amazing here. What that little
And this is just one,
happened.
this is just one little incident that
one
is
little
happening.
incident.
So all of these things that are happening and people having good stories is going to just grow this quicker and show the possibilities of what's coming next.
Exactly.
Which is really some happy news. People are bombarded with a lot of silly things now. So this is an exciting, happy time to be able to preserve our hard work and our effort, and then look to a future of
It's the
of
life
goodness.
raft.
Yeah.
It's the life raft. Here we are, all thousands, millions of us drowning in the ocean. And there's a little life raft bobbing around. That's Bitcoin.
Cool.
Bitcoin, you climb on the Bitcoin life raft and you'll be dry.
So what other questions should we should look at? This is an introductory to blockchain and Bitcoin in this podcast. I know that we want to do more of these and investigate a bunch of different areas, but what should we cover in this episode? Just as an intro here, we've got
In crypto,
Yep.
to do nothing is to do plenty. Doing nothing in economy is actually doing something. So when you purchase Bitcoin or some Satoshis and you do nothing with them, you're actually growing your wealth.
Yes.
The hardest part is not to sell Bitcoin in times of destitution or in times of elation, when you're super happy or when you're super sad or
Yeah.
super hungry
Or
or
when-
super fed.
When you see the price at the highest, it's like
When you
you
see
want
the price
to
at-
sell some off. But,
Exactly. So it's the hardest part of Bitcoin is not to sell it.
Gotcha. So it hits 150 and somebody goes, wow, I could cash out right now. But then
Yes,
10
yeah.
years from now, it's 300 or whatever. It's going to grow over time.
And you always got to think in the back of your mind, who is buying my Bitcoin? Who is buying? It's the rich. The rich are buying it all.
Yeah.
So any Bitcoins that you purchase and they're yours. Nobody else could have access to them until you sell them, which you never will. Because Bitcoin is like the best real estate on earth.
Yeah.
It's the financial real estate. like around Central Park. The buildings around Central Park, the owners of the buildings around Central Park are the same owners than the ones who built those buildings. They never left hands. Those
Because they're
apartments,
able to collect the milk every
yeah,
day.
they refinance. They keep refinancing. They never
So
sell.
they're actually taking loans off of those buildings.
Correct.
Similar to one would take a loan off of the Bitcoin.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's growing in wealth.
Because it's the
Constantly growing.
establishment
Yeah.
back then established the laws to protect the wealth that they created from the nincompooperies of their descendants.
I watched a documentary just the other day on trusts and the Cayman Islands and stuff, and yeah, those mother lovers know how to milk it and store it away from themselves. So we got to figure out
So this is
ways to keep that value for ourselves, and this does seem like the number one method.
The balance point.
Yeah.
That now people, the working class, can now protect their assets in the same way.
It's super important. It's just as important to protect and to save the value of your efforts than it is to go and work to pay the rent.
Yeah.
It's just as important as to feed yourself. This is a vital action you need to take today. You need to open an account on nexo.io. You need to take your debit card and empty your bank account into Bitcoin minus the bills. And then I want you to
Nice.
work hard and work harder and ask for more money so you could DCA even more into BTC.
And I went to open a Coinbase account a couple weeks ago, and I realized that I don't have valid ID. So apparently you need valid ID out there to. It's similar to opening a bank account, I guess, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you need a valid ID. You need all that and make sure it's legit.
Well, gee, I really appreciate you coming on here and explaining it in layman terms to our listeners and people around the world. You heard it, Quadrapod Studios, with the right information to protect your work effort. Get out there, get the Bitcoin, and join the new revolution in protecting your energy.
Well, thank you, Kit. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, the podcast. And good luck, everybody. I hope I've been clear. Send in your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. Stay away from the shit coins.
Yes.
Stick to Bitcoin.
Right on.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for tuning in. Follow Kit Warren on social media, warren.kit, Instagram, Quadrapod Studios on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And tune in next time. Love yourself, love others, and buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah.